see. All right, perfect. Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to make homemade dog toys. So this is my example one. As you can see, Corbin loves it. He's already ripped it a little bit. This one I just made out of scrap pieces of material that were cut off the sides of some material that I had. Oh, are you finally coming to say hi? Do you want to show them how much you like it? Come here. Come here. He loves it. Hi, buddy. All right. So the materials we'll need to make. Oh, he's gonna show you how much he likes it. Quick. No. Give mommy friend a look. All right. So the materials we'll need for today is you are going to need an old t-shirt. The bigger the t-shirt, the longer your um, rope toy will be. This one is a small, I believe. Yeah, this one's a small t-shirt. It's just an old one that I used to have when I was younger. Um, and then we have, this is one of his toys that we bought. So, and I just have it as an example here. And then I have this as an example as well. And Corbin left with a toy. Where are you going with the toy? So the other thing you're going to need besides an old t-shirt or scraps off of a project or some fabric of some sort, the best one that I'm thinking is going to be cotton material because that way it will stretch. As you can see, this one, when he pulls on it, it stretches a little bit. It has a little bit of give in it. So that one is going to work the best. As you can see, it kind of flexed a little bit when he was tugging on it. So that's good. And then, so I have scissors and a t-shirt, and that's all you're really going to need. But I also have a few other things. So this is a rotary cutter mat. So this mat I'm going to use to lay my t-shirt on so that it's nice and flat when I cut it. And then for quicker use, parents can use these. This is a rotary cutter. Now this one, you want to make sure that you are being safe with it because it is really sharp. We use these to cut fleece blankets, so these are really sharp. So I'm going to make sure it's locked in the position. That means that I can't squeeze it so that it's safe. And I'm actually not going to use this today. I'm just going to use a pair of scissors. But if you want to use this for quicker, to get it done quicker, you can. Alright, and now I'm going to put this stuff away. Are you going to help me make a toy for you? Yeah? Alright, I'm just going to set this stuff over here. Okay, so I'm going to readjust my camera so you can just see what I'm doing. Alright. So I'm going to, I have my mat here, and I am going to lay out my t-shirt. Move my phone out of the way. There we go. Okay, so I have my t-shirt here, and I'm just going to. Corbin, you're not helping. He's being a little too helpful this morning. Well, he's gonna go see what my mom's doing. Okay, I'm going to lay down so that it's easier to smooth out. Okay. Okay, and I am just going to kind of smooth everything out. Okay, so if you are using a t-shirt, you don't have to cut off the bottom seam of the t-shirt, but you could if you want to. And I am going to because the seam won't stretch as much as the rest of the t-shirt, so you're going to want to cut that off so that it can stretch easier. And make sure you're being safe with the scissors while you're cutting. These ones are fabric scissors, so they're a little bit sharper than your regular scissors. So I have to be extra careful. And this doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to be braiding it anyway. So now I have my hem of the t-shirt cut off, and as you can see, it's a circle. So I'm just going to set that aside. So now I have the bottom of my t-shirt, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut about an inch to an inch and a half strips out of the t-shirt, and I'm only going to need 2 of these. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut my first strip. And again, these strips don't have to be perfect because we are braiding them together. So it doesn't have to be anything too perfect. So now you see I have this little loop. So I'm going to just cut it. Are you being helpful? Corbin, are you helping? You're not being very helpful for the making of your toys. Okay, thank you. Okay, and then I'm going to cut one more. Oh. Corbin. Corbin's being a little too helpful this morning, guys. Okay, so I'm going to cut another strip out of my t-shirt that's about an inch to an inch and a half thick. Okay, so now I have another loop, and I'm going to again take it and cut it. Are you laying on my other loop? Okay, so now there are 2 ways that you can go ahead and go forward. So the 2 ways, I'll show you both of them, but the 2 ways are you can just take your 2 loops that you have right now. So we have the 2 loops. Just gonna make sure that they're lined up. And you can fold them in half, and then you can tie it in a knot up here. So you see now we have this little loop on the top that you can stick your thumb in. So that will help us to hold on to the toy when you're playing tug of war with your dog. So now what we're going to do this way. So the other way is that you could cut another strip and braid it with, and just do a regular, tie it in a knot and braid it. Corbin. But this way we're going to use the 4 pieces and we're going to braid them together. So I'm going to move this out of the way and then we will do the other way in a second. Okay. So we have our, here, I'm going to, okay. So we have our 4 pieces. So you might be wondering, how am I supposed to braid with 4 pieces of fabric? So what I like to do with 4 pieces of fabric to braid them is I will twist the 2, start it like a regular braid. I'm trying to think of how I can get this best to show you. Okay, so go get it. Go play. Corbin. Okay, so we have these 4. I gotta show you what he's doing. So this is my water bottle, and he's licking it. Okay, leave that be. Leave it. Leave it. Okay, so we have our 4 pieces. Here, hold on. I'm gonna turn this light off because it's a little bright. Let's see if that helps to be able to see. Okay, so we have our Corbin, your toy's not ready for you to play with yet. Go over there. Okay, so we have our 4 pieces. So the first thing you're gonna do is, Corbin, can you move so I can show them? Okay. Get out of the way. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take the middle 2 pieces and you are gonna loop them across each other. So you can see right here that they're looped across each other. Can you not? Can you not? Okay, so they're looped across each other, and then I'm going to take the 1 piece. Here, I'm gonna bring it back here, and I'm going to take it over like I would for a regular braid. Corbin. There we go. So let's do that again because Corbin got in the way of you. But trying to figure out what would be the best way to show you guys this. Okay, so just gonna. Okay, so we have our 4 pieces. Gonna loop the 2 over each other, cross them over, so the 2 in the middle, and then you're gonna take the side that is. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna bring it back here so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. So we have the 2 in the middle crossed over each other, and this piece is the one that's crossed over top right now. So I'm going to take the one on this side and I'm going to cross it over that one, and I'm just going to make sure that it's nice and tight. And then I'm going to take the one on this side and cross it over. And then I'm going to take the one that's on the outside right here on this side, and I'm going to bring it in. And I'm just going to pull that nice and tight because Corbin likes to try and tug them out. So then you're going to take this one. So an easy way to tell which one you need to cross over is that So you can see right here that this side has 2 on it. So I'm going to take this one and cross that one over and pull that tight. And you can see that this side now has 2 on it. So I'm going to take that one on the outside and just cross it over. And then I'm going to do the same on this side. Okay. Okay, and then I'm just going to keep doing that. So just taking from the side that has 2 on it and crossing over to the middle. This is a little more of a complicated way of doing it because it does require a lot. It's more difficult to do a 4-strand braid than it is to do a 3-strand braid. So I will show you the little bit easier way to do it in a second once I get this one done. So I'm just going to go ahead and quickly do this. I'm actually going to loop it around my toe because that way I can hold it tight. You can also use a safety pin or have your parent hold it, something like that. Gordon's here to say hi. Here, let me readjust the camera so you can see her. Oh, he's chewing on his toy. Here, come here. So you're just gonna keep braiding until you are all done. And you're gonna want to make sure that these are nice and tight, because if they're not nice and tight, then your dog can pull the sides out. So if you don't have a dog at home, what you can do is you can make these and donate them to your local shelters, because your local shelters still need dog toys right now as well. So that is something that you could do if you don't have a dog to make these for. You can still have fun making them and then donate them to your shelters. So this one, as you can see, is a pretty thin one. And the thinner you make the strips, the thinner the dog toy itself is going to be. So this one is pretty thin, but my one that I made yesterday is a little bit thicker because it had thicker strips to it. Okay, so now that I'm on the end, I'm just going to tie it in a knot. So I'm going to take my finger, roll it, and then so you can see. I'm going to bring it up here. So you can see, just going to pull those through and then tie it nice and tight. So now you have your finished dog toy. So one end has a little loop that you can stick your finger through, and when you're playing tug of war with your dog, that way you won't lose it. And then the other end has a little knot, and then in the middle it's all braided. So now I'm going to teach you how to make the other kind. So this one you're just going to need another, so you're still going to need your t-shirt. Should we see what Corbin thinks of his new toy first? Let's see what Corbin thinks of this one. You want to play with it? You want to get it? What is it? What do you think? Do you like it? Do you like Mama's toy that she made you? So this one I'm going to, number one, make the strips a lot thicker, because as you can see, I made these two the exact same way, and this one is a lot thicker than this one. But the shorter your strips are, or that your strips are, you probably want to make it a little, to make your strips a little thinner, because the longer they are, the more room you have to tie. So this one's a lot longer, so I had more room to tie it. Alright, so now I'm going to teach you how to do the other way. So Corbin is going to go over here and play. Okay. So I am just going to go ahead and smooth out my t-shirt. And you don't have to use a t-shirt, it's just the easiest thing that everyone would have around home. An old t-shirt, you can use fabric, you can use fabric scraps if you like to sew at home. I know when I was little, I used to like to sew a lot as well. So I'm going to make these strips a lot thicker. So I'm going to make these about 2 to 2.5 inches thick. So I'm going to make them about that wide. Oh, this one's going to be a little more fun because it looks like we're going to have to cut into the logo on it, so it'll have a little color in it. So now we have our strip, and again, you're just going to go ahead and cut it. So now you have a nice long strip. It's pretty thick. I'm going to set that aside for now. And I'm going to cut another strip out of the t-shirt that's about the same thickness. So about 2 inches. And again, like I said earlier, these do not have to be perfect. I promise you that your dog will not care. And it really doesn't matter because they're just going to get braided together anyway. Okay, so now I have another strip. And I am going to cut it again. So now I have another strip. And the nice thing about these doing a t-shirt is that all of your strips are going to be the same length, which is really nice. Okay, so I'm going to have to cut into the logo this time. So I'm going to make another strip that's about the same thickness. Okay, so now I have my 3 strips. I'm just going to cut this one again. Okay, so now, last time we looped them together, but this time we're going to take it up here. Make sure they're nice and lined up. You're going to take your other one and line it up as well. And since I really like having the loop on tug-of-war toys, I am going to try and make a loop. You can just tie a knot at the top. So this one is one of my favorites that he has, and it has a loop on the top. I like it because I can grab it and I can hold on to it while he is tugging with all his might. So I'm going to do a loop. So how I'm going to do that is I am just going to take 2 fingers, a little closer. So I'm going to take 2 fingers, I'm going to loop them around, creating this loop, and then I'm going to pull them through. And then you see I have this little loop here. And then, so if you pulled this tight, it would be a knot. But what I am going to do to make it a loop is I am going to use this little string here. And I am just going to make that into our knot. Pull a little more of this through. And you don't have to do this. I just like it because I like to have loops on his toys. So then you have a little loop that you can use. I'm just gonna pull that nice and tight. So then you have a loop and then you have this little string here. And again, I'm going to loop it around my toe because I like doing that. It's easier to use. Okay, so then I have my 3 strands. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one and loop it, bring it to the middle. I'm going to take this one and bring it to the middle. I'm going to take this one and bring it to the middle. So it helps if you spread them out because then you know which one you need to bring in. So as you can see, I don't know if you can see that. This one, it's kind of bright, but this one right here is in the middle right now. So that shows you that this side needs to come in. So you kind of just take from the opposite side of where the cross is. So now this side just crossed over. So now I'm going to take this one and cross that over the other one. And that's how you braid. So you just continue to cross one over the other. Now this one's going to be a really long toy because these strips are really long, which is kind of nice. And I am just going to quickly braid this. I really like to braid, so I like to make friendship bracelets and stuff like that too. This is another way that you can make a friendship bracelet as well. So if you want to, you can cut out strips of a t-shirt and you can use those to make a friendship bracelet as well. Obviously you wouldn't want them this long, but you can cut them into strips that are long enough for you to use as a bracelet, and then you can have it to make a bracelet. And you'll just do that the same way. So you can braid it, or you'll just tie it in a knot and then you'll braid it, and then you will tie the other side in a knot. So it'll just be kind of smaller scale, and you'll want to make the strips pretty thin if you want to make a friendship bracelet. So this one's really long. Okay, so now I have my end, and you're just going to use your finger, roll it, and then see these little ends here? You're gonna pull those through the loop you just made, and then you are going to pull it and tie it nice and tight. So now we have another finished toy that you can make another way. This one's really long. Should we see how he likes them? Let's see how Corbin likes them. I'm going to readjust my camera. I'm going to put it up here. Okay. Do you want to test out your toys? Corbin, come here. So we have, oh, bring it up a little. There we go. So we have our 3 toys. So we made 2 of them today, and I have the one that I already made. I'm going to set my scissors up so that me or Corbin doesn't accidentally step on them. So we have 3 toys. This is the one that I made out of some fabric scraps that I had laying around. This is the one that I used the t-shirt for and did the loop. This one you fold it in half and then you do a 4-strand braid, which I taught you how to do. And then there's this one, which I cut 3 strips out of my t-shirt and I made a loop on one end so that he can play with it. Corbin, come! Corbin, come here. Do you want to play with your toy? What's this? What's this? What is it? What are you barking at? There's nothing to bark at. Corbin. What's this? Yesterday, after I made this one, he was carrying it around the house. It was pretty funny. Should we try this one? Maybe you'll like this one. And when I play tug of war with these toys, I like to slip my finger through the loops. Oh, you're going to check out this toy? What's this one? Oh, and contact. I think our homemade dog toys are a success. If you guys make them, you'll have to show them to me because I would love to see how your homemade dog toys turn out. And if the braid comes out of it, you can always rebraid it. You're going to want to make sure that it's nice and tight though, because yesterday when I made this one, Corbin, I didn't make it as tight and Corbin undid some of the braid, so I had to rebraid it. So that's okay if you have to rebraid it too. That happens, and you can always rebraid it. You want to play tug of war? Ready? Ready? So vicious you are. Yes. And to entice them, your dog, to play tug of war with you, what you can do is you can wiggle your tug of war toy on the floor, and then that will entice them like this. Except for he's already engaged in tug of war. But you can wiggle it on the floor and get them to come and play with you. So these ones work really well because they're pretty strong. They stretch so that your dog can't. And don't worry if your dog kind of chews it up a little bit. Corbin chewed the loop yesterday a little bit. They're dogs, they like to chew on stuff. Oh, we're getting really into our tug of war now. You getting it? Oh goodness. See, and having the loop on it helps it to keep from dropping. Oh, so vicious. Since they are made out of t-shirt material, you can wash them as well. So if they get a little dirty, it's okay because you can always wash them. Corbin loves his toy. Oh. He doesn't always like to engage in tug of war, but he is loving it this morning. He liked it, was liking it yesterday too with this toy. Oh. He was carrying this toy around all afternoon yesterday after I made it for him. Spin! Oh, goodness. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed making dog toys. Let me know what yours looked like and let me know if your dog liked them. I would love to see that. And if you play with your dog with your toy, or maybe you donate some of these toys to the animal shelter near you, I'd love to see that. It's a great way of giving back right now that you can help the animal shelters with. If you are unable to maybe foster a dog or buy toys, you can always make some toys for them out of old t-shirts or fabric that you have, that kind of stuff. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know Corbin did. Alright, and next week on Puppy Playtime, we're gonna try and play outside depending on the weather. If the weather is bad, we will do some inside play. But I'm hoping that we can do some outside play next week with Corbin. Alright, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the videos and stuff we have going this week. Oh goodness. I will see you guys later. Bye.